science, social climate change. Just calm down.
Yeah, like, you don't really even know your great-grandparents, like, talking about. Like, you know them, but you don't really.
I know my great grandma. Like I hang out with her at the mall. So anyway, we are here with Solomon Palo Santo. He is a sound healer, a clairvoyant, and a musician. He is overall healer of sorts. That's his trade, and he has been making his living in California for the last couple of months. How have you been?
I've been well, Ethan. Thank you for having me on, man. Yeah, am glad to be on and glad to share, and all of this is true.
Well, I don't know. I found it. I thought it was an interesting time to want to have a conversation with someone who is so empathetic and like that's kind of like they're known to be more receptive. And I was just wondering if you could maybe shed any insight on how you feel and what are you taking in at a time like this with like the coronavirus being so more rampant than we ever thought it would be. But well, some of us. But how do you just feel about everything going on right now, like the unrest in the world?
Well, I believe ultimately it's a sign of the times. I believe that the ego of humanity as a whole is being cracked right now, which might not sound like a good thing, but from a spiritual perspective, I feel like what's happening right now is a really powerful opportunity for humanity as a whole to really reevaluate like what's happening, what we're doing as a whole, and individually. I think it's a call to responsibility and a call to evaluation. I feel that there's a lot of negativity that's kind of happening right now due to the coronavirus, and just like negativity that was happening outside of the coronavirus that is now uh, having to be looked at from an honest perspective from every sector, from business to personal to healthcare, like everything's having to be reevaluated, which I think is really phenomenal. And I feel that, like on a spiritual plane, the overall ego of humanity is being cracked, which will allow, if given the opportunity, for kind of the spiritual energy to enter in and take root and really rebirth the way the world operates.
I feel that. Like, do you think it's gonna get a little bit more worse before it gets better? That's how I feel personally. It just
Yeah,
kind of I
go ahead.
understand that, and like everything does seem like to have its place, and it's just I don't know. Sometimes it hurts to even say that because it's such tragedy going on, but it's like to ever say that such tragedy is necessary is just that's just wrong to say. But I feel like
Right.
it's
Well, go ahead.
truthful in some ways. It's like a silver lining to a terrible like fucking situation.
Now, see, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And I like how you kind of added that in at the end, that little caveat. Like, the way I see it is like sometimes things are destined to happen. I'm not talking about the virus in this instance, but I am talking about certain outcomes like unification, oneness, bonding. I feel that there's a revolution that's getting ready to happen on Earth, and I feel it's kind of been happening actually, honestly, like ramping up to like if you look at all around the world, different types of things where the masses, people in the masses versus the oligarchy and the elite have been really fighting and agitating for their rights and ultimately coming into alignment with what they believe they deserve. And I feel that in order for this oneness to kind of come, it could happen any number of ways. Like I've heard the idea that there's a million and one opportunities, which is probably kind of unrealistic, but probably I'll say infinite. There's like infinite ways that um, there's infinite ways that a desired outcome can come. Now, that means there's different streams, there's different paths for that to occur. And in
What do
this
you mean? Like
instance,
you
I
can
believe that this
control what?
tragedy is leading to that.
Like you
Go
can
ahead.
control it? Like what do you mean? Like your reality? What do you mean?
Right. So, like, if somebody wanted to say manifest a new car, right? They've been driving their old car. Maybe they don't have a car. We'll use that example. They don't have a car and they've been wanting to manifest a new car. In their mind, they might think that that there's only one way to do it, like finding a new job and maybe building up some credit and then getting an auto loan, or maybe they're just paying for it all in one time and they're saving up $5,000 and getting a used car. Now that in their mind might be the only way that there is, but that might not actually be the reality. Like it could come any number of ways. Like say there's an aunt that's getting ready to buy a new car and she's like she calls you because you're in the right energy, you're in the right alignment for that to happen, and she's like, hey, like I happen to be getting a new car, do you want my old car? That's one way that it can happen. There's and so that's kind of just an example of what I'm talking about.
I feel you. I honestly, I actually have always like been interested in that idea, kind of the shifting of karmas, like the way that it seems like people are always like, "Oh, that's bad karma." Like, do you think that like there is a possible way that you can truly shift karmas in your favor?
Yeah, so all karma really is at its root, at its most fundamental form, karma is just past action. Literally, is past action. So it's the past actions from this current lifetime and former lifetimes. And
Can you like
so
weaponize it?
the result of past actions is what karma is. So in order to shift it, like it can be done any number of ways, but it can be done through meditation, through a yoga practice. It's karma's constantly being created every moment, and
Yeah.
so it's always like doing good deeds and thinking positive thoughts is the best way to kind of operate in this like divine love and be kind of above the negative aspects of the karma, and you can burn off karma that way. So yeah,
That's a
that's
good
some of the
question.
suggestions.
How does one like burn off karma in their daily life? Like, what's the best way?
Well, I would say
Like you're a sound healer. What does that entail?
right. So I'm a sound healer. So I utilize sound that I've produced, like electronically produced, for the specific purpose of uh, relieving negative karma, burning negative karma, and also bringing about healing of mind, body, spirit, and
Is it
helping
like
to open up one's spiritual path as well as their life path, like opening up their energy to receive what they're really desiring. And then also, kind of within that process, is repairing DNA and kind of transporting people internally to their true self.
how do you damn, that's crazy. How do
Yeah,
you
it's
like
intense.
how do you I don't know, how do you find I don't know, it's almost like you find the right frequency to get certain messages through.
Yeah, I don't try. Like, I don't try. I think it's something that my
How do you
ancestors have
find
done.
that? How do you find that that how do you know when it's that frequency, that special one that will like you're like this is a little this is sent from a place of like zen, you know?
Yeah, so I just have a highly developed or highly, yeah, I would say highly developed spiritual sense, which allows me to kind of tap into whoever I'm working with, and it can be a group of people simultaneously at one time, which I do often, um, to be able to kind of bring in that healing and tap into the frequency that's necessary for that person or for that group of people.
How do
It's
you
just
tap
something that
into
I have an
it?
innate sense for.
How do you is there an easier way to like for one to feel closer to it? Like I understand that you like this is like something you specialize in, but how would like one you said meditation and yoga.
Yes,
I
I
just
would
got into
say,
yoga myself. My girlfriend got me into it. It's like it's delicious. I love it.
yeah, I like the way you described that. Yeah, developing a routine. So in Sanskrit, which is coming from ancient India, the Sanskrit language, and there's a word called sadhana, and sadhana loosely translates to a spiritual practice. So what I would say is like having a daily routine that one does, ideally in the morning after they wake up and
Mm.
they've brushed up, they've become fresh, like spiritual practice that they do daily. And what happens is it builds up that muscle, it builds up that sense, it strengthens the intuition, and it burns off karma, and it helps with blocking out negative vibes. It's a really powerful tool for blocking out negative vibes in the day-to-day life. So I
It
would
like
say starting a
yeah.
meditation practice
To me,
and maybe doing
it's
some
like tuning
mantras.
your body like a guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Tuning your body like a guitar. That's just it. And so, yeah, and doing things like mantras in there will help. A little bit of shameless promotion. I'm getting ready to put out an album of an EP, really, a miniature album
Hell yeah.
of spiritual mantras that you can adopt into your sadhana or your spiritual practice that you do daily,
Is it
if you'd
like a
like.
meditation guide type of thing?
It's verbal. So it's a combination of clapping, which is kind of just keeping the beat, and me verbalizing a mantra, like chanting several different mantras that can be used for different things, like spiritual healing or opening up the intuition, coming closer to your own spirit. Of course, opening up more to
Healing
source.
sounds.
Yep. So that's going to be available in the next couple of weeks.
That
So
sounds
on all
dope as
streaming
shit.
platforms, under the name Solomon Palo Santo. I've got music
We
out
st-
right now under that name, but you can find the um, the spiritual mantras will be out
what,
within the next like 2 weeks. So
what's your Instagram?
my Instagram is at Solomon Palo Santo. So it's SOLOMONPALO Solomon Palo Santo.
It's kind of sick. Like he literally has, dude. You have real testimonies, and I've never seen anyone like do something like this. Like Chris Angel's obviously a fraud, but like you have like these testimonies, and I've never seen such like it's like a weird like street testimony, and it's like really unique that people are like he just didn't even he doesn't know me, and he just guessed a lot of important things I'm going through right now, and it was and like it's nuts to see. So anyway, I would definitely recommend checking them out.
Thanks, man. And honestly, it's not even a guess. Like my intuition is just very, very, very sharp. That's where the clairvoyance comes in. It allows me to know exactly where somebody's at in their life, where they've been, and what's coming up for them in the future.
Oh, dude, I know we met at the pier. That shit was nuts.
Thank you, man. Yeah, yeah. We did a reading, and we filmed it, which is on your other
Oh,
channel, which
the
is
Public Poem
Public Poem
Project.
Project.
Yo,
Yes.
dude, it's on YouTube, guys. Check that shit out. It's kind of dope. Like we encountered the weirdest people that day. Like literally, it was like, wait, did they know we were filming? Like, I can't.
Yeah.
That Marine guy, he's like just starts rapping about PTSD. I was like, what the fuck? And like, then those girls and the other girl that came, it was just nuts.
Yeah, man. It was,
And
and
then running into you guys, man, like that was crazy.
absolutely. And then, of course, giving Paul the reading was an excellent touch because we were able to capture his testimony afterwards, like you were kind of mentioning, and
It was a
we just
beautiful
had
day
some
too.
beautiful synchronicities that day.
Hell yeah. But
Awesome.
anyway, I'm still remaining hopeful for everything, you know. Um I think
Yeah,
that
man.
things will be okay as long as people want it to be.
Right.
It's like
Honestly, good.
I don't know, that's pretty much it. That's all I got.
Well, yeah, no, I
EKM
was just gonna
94,
say, like,
shout me out. No,
no, I just think that this is a really excellent opportunity right now. I think what people should really, truly be focusing on, at least a large portion of their time, if I could offer some insight or inspiration or advice,
what?
what people should be really doing with their time, I really truly believe should be going within. Spend some time in reflection every day, like plugging. If you have to tap into mainstream media, okay, do that, but limit your time, maybe once a day,
Hell
and
yeah.
not for an extended period of time. But
Same with
really,
alcohol. Like you have to just limit yourself one day a week to not because it's so tempting to just like drink all day, but it's like you gotta go at least 1 week with being sober, like even from smoking and shit.
yeah, like, but I mean, really, like, it's right now is a great opportunity to go within, right? Like, if you look at what's happening all around the world, right? Like, so we've seen online and through the media, like Venice, Italy, the waters have become completely clear in the waterways. The dolphins have come back.
I heard that that
Like,
might
and
have been a myth. Are you sure that's true?
um, I mean, from what I've researched, now that could be off, but from multiple sources that I've seen, it's been confirmed. But of course, I'm not in Venice physically, so I can't 100% say that that's the case. But I mean, even the ozone, right? Like even the ozone surrounding the Earth, like the hole is becoming smaller and smaller because of people being inside and the emissions not happening right now. And they've got like electromagnetic like thermal heat maps of that in ways to gauge and read these different ways to like manage and read the ozone layer.
And
and
it's like, dude, it's like I saw this other like video. It was definitely like fake, but these like it was like a gap inside the ozone, and like these like spaceship things were like circling it. I thought it could have been fake, but I could totally see it to be real. Like I don't know. In a different story, I'll explain it. But I've seen a ship once, and it looked just like it, like just an orb, not like shot. Anyway, but like
yeah,
I believe that right now the world's trying to renew itself and shed its skin, and honestly, Mother Nature is scolding Father Time. Or wait, the other way around because fuck, they're mad at each other. They're fighting. I don't know.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's humanity that's really caused the major impact to the earth, to nature as a whole. And nature, in a lot of ways, is kind of resetting itself because so many people are not causing damage or not allowed or able to cause damage at this point because everybody's like quarantined to their homes. So I think while that's happening, like in the lights kind of off, so to speak, as a whole throughout the world, like people should take that as an opportunity to be within and go within and do a lot of reflection and find out on a personal level what works for them and what's not working for them any longer and how they want to go forward. And of course, add in a lot of creativity too. Like creative expression is a really important thing right now, which will also help to incorporate and tie in the spiritual energies that we have access to right now. And that's what I would really recommend. And honestly, I
How do you
feel
feel
like,
about Trump?
I mean, I think that I think that Donald Trump is a work of art, man. Like I think that I don't know. I mean, I'm not really a super judgmental person, but I feel that he's done a lot of really negative things in his presidency, and I think that his ultimate goal is really just the dollar at the end of the day, financial, and it's really I think that he's very self-centered and that he doesn't really care about the general populace. So that's kind of my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like he's like just the mirror that like was held up to America. They
Yeah,
wanted like something to like really represent it. He's the mirror, and like people are looking at themselves right now. It just shows everyone's true colors. Like they're forced to. They voted for him. They're like, do you support this guy? Just everything's being tested right now. It's kind of a
I
crazy
agree.
time.
I like the way you put mirror, and like even with that, I'm gonna take it one step further. I believe that Donald Trump is a representation and a reflection of the negativity within America that is ultimately coming to a reckoning. Like I think that a lot of negativity, like truthfully, what I believe is happening on Earth right now, I think a lot of negative karma is being purged off the Earth at a rapid pace right now, and I
Hmm.
think that Donald Trump is a part of that. I think that he's like
He would have got the
aggravating.
coronavirus then. What the fuck?
No, no, like he's just one person. It's not just him. I think that he's a mirror reflection of a lot of the
No,
negativity
like
that's
yeah,
happening in
what he's
America.
doing is definitely purging. Like it's separating the good from the bad. The people,
Exactly.
and the people like. I don't think everyone who likes Trump is a bad person, but I do think
Right.
anyone who wears the hat is. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
I mean, I have a mentor, actually a business mentor, who is one of the most kind-hearted people that I know. Yet he's a Trump supporter, and I'm like, that to each their own, And I don't think that all Trump supporters are bad people either. I would agree with that, but the whole "Make America Great" situation is like, well, what are we referring to exactly? Like, what period in time are we referring to? Because there's a lot of really bad things that America's done over the course of its hundreds of years.
It's like if you like Trump, we get it. He's kind of like the white boy rebel on that Republican side, but it's like I don't know. If you wear the hat, you're just fangirling too hard, and you got to be a little bit more fucked up than most if you're fangirling him that hard.
I mean, to each their own, but I definitely feel
With
like
the hat,
people should
with
not.
the hat.
Yeah, with the hat, I feel like people should not be wearing that hat. I agree. Like it's disgraceful.
Yo, oh my god, we just been talking for a good minute. I think we should end the pod.
Cool, man. Well, I mean, do you have any final thoughts or any final questions? Or I mean, it's definitely been fun, chatting with you, and I
Let's write a
appreciate the
poem.
invite.
Let's do a poem.
Okay,
Let's see, what should it be called? Granola bar.
granola bar. Okay, should I? For breakfast, I ate a granola bar. It
It was
inspired me to think.
sorry.
When I ate the granola bar, I was on the brink of a new way, a new thought, a new process, a new form. And then I began my day with a new norm.
Granola bar. I didn't think you would take me this far. In my backpack, for God knows how long. I'll go to you one day, when my money's all gone. I hope that granola bar, you're not too soft. The heat from the sun, the sweat from my Voss. Granola bar. I'll probably never eat you. But thanks.
Funny. Nice, man. Well, thank you for having me.
I love you, man. Thank you for being
Love
on
you
the
too.
show.
And I just want to say my socials one more time. My Instagram handle is at Solomon Palo Santo, which is SolomonPaloSanto. And if you want to experience what it's like to have a clairvoyant reading, where it's like me being able to read into your personal energy, making predictions into your future, seeing where you're currently at,
It's the
kind
real
of
deal.
challenges or past experience, I can do that. Or if you want to do the sound healing too, like we discussed earlier on, we can set that up as well. And if you want to check out my music, it's on all digital streaming platforms. Same name, Solomon Palo Santo.
And this is EKM Ethan. Hello, howdy, how are ya? And Public Poem Project on YouTube and Instagram. My alter ego is Life of Fiction, but you didn't hear that anyway. Um, Look up
And check out our collaboration on Public
social
Poem
climate
Project.
change. Public Poem Project. We got a couple things. Watch it. Howdy. Have a good one. Bye.